You're rolling.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
So I'm here to offer you an opportunity to reduce our environmental impact, improve morale, and increase pride in the workplace. And this is the kind of pride that we want to generate right here. And how are we going to do that? We're going to do that by using chemical-free cleaning. It's a electrically converted water, or ECH2O technology. And this is basically how it works. It takes regular tap water, it uses an ionizing process with a built-in module on the machine, and it turns it into a powerful cleaning agent. We'll have some examples to show you how exactly it performs shortly. So this is a life cycle analysis study. It's performed by Ecoform, a third-party company, and it shows that it reduces the environmental impact by 57 to 98%. Footprint kind of analogy right there, the blue footprint is how much we're going to shrink our impact to the environment. Also, National Floor Safety Institute certified technology. And this company has actually been recognized for their innovation by developing chemical-free cleaning technology. So why do we care why we have clean floors? Well, it's an OSHA standard. It's required by AFMAN 91-203, paragraph 7.1.1. And it's derived from Law 29 CFR 1910. All working surfaces shall be maintained in clean and dry condition as much as possible. Health and safety benefits. It eliminates chemical handling for our personnel. It reduces the chemical residues on the floors after we're done cleaning, and also improves air quality. I don't know if you've ever walked into a hangar after they recently mopped. It kind of smells like dead fish. You won't have that issue anymore. So medical considerations. Personal experience, I've had a coworker that fell just on a hospital floor, nothing crazy on the floor. It was just, he turned, lost his balance, hit his face on the floor, split lip, stitches, had to get a CT scan to make sure he didn't have a concussion, ended up having jaw surgery. Average cost for an ER visit is $2,000, CT scan for concussion $500, and reconstructive jaw surgery, average cost $18,000. We haven't had any of these incidents in the last 2 years. However, we have had at least one outside that time frame. So water savings. It uses 3 times less water, in addition to holding 3 times more water as our current units. And it's about a $3,000 annual savings for the water, but more importantly, it's a $57,000 annual savings for manpower. Right now, we're using 3-person teams per AMU on the F-16 side, as well as a 3-person team in the fuel shop. By going to this form of business, we'll be using 1 person on a Zamboni to do a 60-minute job in approximately 15 minutes, cleaning 12,000 square feet in that amount of time. Here's some of the specs. A T12 unit, which is the one that we're asking to acquire, cleans 50,000 square feet per hour. It has a 3.5-hour runtime, which our current fleet average runtime is about 60 minutes due to battery issues and overall age. It has a minimum of 6-hour recharge time, so it's something that we'd have to recharge overnight per manufacturer recommendations. But it has a 700 recharge cycle, which will equate to about 6 years in lifespan before we have to replace the batteries. Current capacity for our floor scrubbers is 12-gallon tank versus the new ones which will have a 35-gallon water tank. And that equates to about 9 times the current performance. So here's an example of a traditional chemical cleaning Zamboni versus the ECH2O cleaner. You can see that they perform almost identically from a visual eye perspective. And this is what I was talking about, chemical residue. All you have right here is water versus clear, foamy, sudsy, soapy water. And you can see in the recovery tanks, sample of a chemical cleaning recovery tank in the dirtier water that you actually get with ECH2O technology. So why do we need it? It reduces an impact to our personnel. Not only does it save us manpower hours throughout the year, but also lets us put those manpower towards additional resources, maintaining aircraft, maintaining equipment, getting the training that they need to do their jobs. It's an expensive asset that actually requires some specialized knowledge to repair, so our maintainers aren't necessarily the best people to be maintaining this, but also consistent asset availability versus right now we've only got 5 out of our 15 Zambonis that are operational. And here's a list of the benefits for having planned maintenance, all the different kind of tune-ups that they do with the silver plan, which is the quote that we have for it. Primarily, the one that we want to focus on, though, is the battery fluid level and connections check, longer runtime, and increased productivity. And some background info on Tenant. It's a Minnesota-based company. They have a GSA contract, and the quoted distributor is actually a disabled veteran-owned business for contracting considerations. And that is the end of my presentation. Do you have any questions?
So this is for 1 unit?
So that's the total price for 15 units. I also have, yes sir, I got another quote for 10 units if we only want to replace the non-operational Zambonis. $249.9 thousand for 10 units versus an additional savings for going $358.2 thousand. They knocked out about $1,000 per unit.
So this is the T12. What about the Honda Civic version? Is that still going to work for you, or is this?
So the T7 version doesn't have a mop handle or a wetback attachment. So the T12 model actually has that wetback attachment on it and reduces the amount of time that we'd have to go to clean other hard to reach areas that isn't within the riding surface area.
Is there a cost? What's the cost differential?
So cost differential would be, we could get a bare bones, non-customized unit, which we actually have one in Hangar 877. That costs about $13,000 versus this one, which is specified to last longer based off of a rep that I had come out to evaluate our hangars, and basically gave a performance analysis of what we kind of need to have on this equipment to make it last as long as it perform to the capabilities that we need.
What's the warranty?
So the warranty, I believe, is 3 years. The service warrant or the service contract is 3 years, and it can be renewed every 3 years. The typical life expectancy for the equipment is 10 years.
How much is the service contract?
Service contract is, I believe, $42.4 thousand. That's a new estimate that just came in this morning.
Is that per year or?
Every 3 years, ma'am.
Every 3 years.
So total cost for us up front would be about $401,000. Total savings over a 10-year period, $200,000 off of, in addition to what we would normally spend.
I don't get a service contract with the new purchase price that I'm seeing on here. What is behind this?
No, sir. So I don't actually have that printed off because it came in this morning and I haven't had a chance to take it from an Excel spreadsheet and make it printable.
$40,000 for the service contract
Yes, sir. $42.4 thousand.
annually.
Every 3 years.
How much square footage do you have in the hangar?
So across the maintenance group, we have 680,000 square feet. Approximately, that's just off of me taking measurements on a few hangars and doing a ballpark spatial analysis. And that's not counting the gap hangars, which I didn't have the time to do a site visit on.
What,
Like the old one, how much is the new one?
10,000 square feet there?
301, I estimated at 50,000 square feet.
So that figures.
The service contract, how many units is that for?
So the service contracts for 15 units. They have a different service contract for the 10 units, which is actually a little bit more. They give us a discount, and it also adds on the T7 model that we have in Hangar 877.
The service contract covers everything to include even if your battery expires before 6 years?
So it'll cover any, what do you call it? The silver model basically covers warranty service as well as periodic maintenance. So anything that breaks on it as is expected to break on it over a period of time, that'll be covered by that. They also have a pay-as-you-go that is pretty cost-effective. They're also the only service technicians in the area to service the Zambonis, and they specialize in this model, or I should say brand of Zambonis. So 3 service technicians between Las Cruces and El Paso with a 24-hour response.
How many hours per week is the Zamboni used right now?
Very limited because no one wants to use a Zamboni that only lasts for 1 hour and doesn't really do as good of a job as an Airman with our 3-person team with a pressure washer, mop, squeegee. It's just not cost effective or efficient for our Airman's use of time.
Usually main hangars, regular
minus the other 10, and then why do I need, or why am I not buying less than 15 of this new product?
So the 6 that we have in the 311th and 314th AMUs, 2 of those are serviceable, but they only have about an average of 1 hour runtime. They have other issues like they don't suck up the water as well off the floor, so you have to go behind it with a squeegee. Some of the other ones, they have similar battery issues. We have 2 relatively new Zambonis. One is in Hangar 877, which is that T7 model I spoke about earlier, and the other one is over in Props.
How does so how well is a T7 functioning?
So personally, I've used it personally, and I know that it performs just as the picture stated. You have a gray floor, then you have a white floor right after just one sweep. It's not going to perform as quickly or as efficiently as a T12, and it's not exactly set up for our specific environmental considerations. It still does the job, but I don't think it'll last as long as a T12 in the long term.
So the cleaning width is less, right, T7?
Yes, sir.
You go back through then, add up where you get to, I need 15 of them. If I got 5 that I'm not even using today, why do I need about 15 of these things?
So the thought is 10 of our Zambonis are unserviceable or need to be turned in for DRMO. The other 5, they might have a few more years of life expectancy, and the overall goal is to go to a standardized one Zamboni for the entire maintenance group that gets consistent service and basically takes all the same parts versus we have this piecemeal
I
of
hear
different.
all that, but you're telling me that you've got 5 serviceable today that you're not even using. So I'm a simple man, the number of square feet that I got to clean, divided by number of man hours that I've got to do it, should be giving me how many I need to service every day. I mean, where's that? You're asking for a ton of money, and I'm trying to figure out why I need 15 of these things if you're not even using 5 today.
What are we basing that just based off, again, location? Most of them, if you're driving out from Maine, you it takes too long.
All right, so tell me you have 15 hangers then, and I can't drive the Zambonis with 2 hangers.
Correct.
Give me something like that.
We were looking
So
at
301 should need more than 1, 500.
So
got it.
877, 301, 500, and we were looking at all the hangarettes as well out in the camping area. So we're trying to provide 1 per 4 hangarettes. So again, that way we have our crew chiefs.
How many hangarettes do we have?
We have 44. So.
Okay.
So that's what we were trying to do, is to encourage our guys to have something very quick and efficient for them to get out in between goes, clean these floors, and make sure things are safe. So we're not just looking at
hangarettes, so if you lose off, so 1 per 4 hangarettes,
correct.
so that gives you 10 right there, that's.
So that's where a lot of our calculations came in, sir. And we're not just thinking about our maintainers either, so we're looking at our pilots and stepped aircraft that sometimes have issues as well. I've been told that they have slipped a couple of times on the way out. Our guys are trying to keep it as clean as they can. And I'm also thinking about our PLL folks sir, that come out to service our aircraft. So this is a safety concern for all of our folks, and we want to make sure we have our guys using the right equipment to keep things clean and safe.
What was the cost comparison between purchasing and leasing?
I don't have any basic information, ma'am.
So we'll do a lease versus buy
Well,
when
because
we
I
go.
can see in the back that they offer a lease program. So I was just curious if there was a cost comparison.
So we'll do that before we actually go out.
How old are the older ones? They came from Luke, right?
So we received them from Luke Air Force Base 4 years ago. We don't know exactly how old or how long they had been at Luke before we received them.
I was like,
I guess I'm just trying to see what's
So,
actually.
so you have 15 Zambonis, none of them work, but how are they acquired? How are they paid for?
There
Should be
are
replacement.
like an MXG purchase, and then sometimes we get the service contracts, most times we end up not getting them just to save money, we don't always get the right equipment. So again, it gets used and worn down very quickly, and then we've got to really extend on the back buying more. So what we're trying to do here again is looking for a 6 to 10 year plan where we get the right equipment. Now we've got service contracts, and these things actually last us and work across the base for a few years.
so the hard part to think about is the service contract and the tail end of paying for this every year. So that's one thing we'll think about when we do lease versus buy.
It is
But
every
you're
3
right.
years, and that money covers all 15. So if you take that 40 divided by those 15, you're at about $3K per example.
Tracking Thanks for the input, we can debate that later. Great presentation, I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.